So, what did I do today? Well, I went to my kid's recital. And
singing or playing?
Here's the whole thing. They don't do anything. They're not yet 4. Really, under 4, the only kids that do anything are Asian. Possibly black. White kids don't really do anything under the age of 4. It's all part of this. There's this whole cottage industry. I mean, think about this, Bryan. You're not getting ripped off yet because you don't have kids.
Okay.
Here's how the system works. There's it's basically first world problems, white guilt meets a bunch of industrious people try to scare the shit out of stupid broads whose husbands have a bunch of money but don't have a bunch of time. They have a bunch of their husband's money, but they have all the time in the world.
So scare the wife and the husband will have to pay.
Well,
there's the theory going on.
Yeah. Here's what the whole thing is. It's loosely based on this. Here's our society. We don't have any real problems. I mean, we talk about terrorism, but really, there's an attack. I mean, the biggest attack there was killed 3,000 people 9 years ago on a coast that was 2,500 miles away from where we live.
Sure.
And nobody we know was in the building or on the plane.
Yeah. The chance it'll affect you directly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We don't have any real problems. So what do? Well, we start working on black mold and secondhand smoke and corrective helmets.
Peanut allergies.
And my son, I can fucking see the thing right here. See it right here. Sorry you've heard the Jag before, but I'm staring. Yes, I'm staring.
We've talked about this so many times. We got to get a picture of this on the website.
Yeah, this is $4,000 worth of cheap fucking hockey helmet. And one day, I got to get the name of the fucking quack that prescribed this thing and out him. Because what happens is my son, he doesn't need a helmet. He's fine. He's fine. But what happens? Well, Rich Whitey, paranoid wife, meets husband with a decent job, meets, we got to make us some money. Oh, meets, we don't have, we're not fighting consumption or scurvy. Yeah. Or being, people aren't dying from tetanus. So we need to invent problems. So what do? Well, your husband, your son, he has a little asymmetry in his skull. So they feed that to my wife. My wife's paranoid.
It's not a problem now, but if
Right. Yeah. Lerman and Son. These are the assholes that make the orthopedic and prosthetics, right?
I wish I'd get angry because they're keeping me alive, but the medical industry is a lot of it is a racket. I mean, the prices are
total fucking
unreal.
This is $4,000 worth of nothing.
Yeah.
There's about
what would you estimate the materials on that cost?
I don't know. What's it cost to make a cap for a can of shaving cream? About two of those caps.
Yeah, novelty-sized golf ball.
Yeah, materials-wise, there's less than 50 cents into this thing. So what do? Well, they convince my wife, my son's got a problem, then my son buys into it, and then I say he looks fine, and then she says, what do you know? You got put on academic probation at a junior college. And then I say, well, listen, here's what I know. I have fucking common sense. Right. Common sense trumps everything. Nobody I know ever needed one of these fucking prosthetic helmets. But now my son needs one. And then what do? Well, they go and send them to a specialist. The doctor says, and here's where they're in cahoots. Hey, let's send it to the specialist. So you go to the specialist. And what's the specialist do? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are the percentage of the time that he disagrees with the doctor?
What are the chances you're going to get
the doctor's way off base?
What are the chances you're going to get a free brake inspection and the guy from Midas is going to go, no problem here?
Yeah, you're at 110%.
Right. Yeah. No. You're going to the specialist, and the specialist is going to find something wrong. But here's where I have the problem with it, unlike the guy who does the brake job. These guys are physicians.
Right.
The guys who do the brake jobs are essentially cons who work on leased cars for a living.
But you know the con. You know that when you're going to the oil change place, they're going to say, oh, you also need a boat.
Oh, yeah.
You can really use a boat.
You need a new breather filter. Yeah, of course, because they're not going to make money for $14.99 changing your 9 quarts of oil. So, But these guys went to college for 9 years, maybe more. The point is this. You go to these guys, and then these so-called experts say, oh, yeah, you need a helmet. You absolutely need a helmet. What happened? So $4,000 later, a bunch of guilt from the wife. I'm dragging my feet. I'm pissed off. I'm suspicious. I know it's bullshit. But then who wants to be that fucking horrible parent? You strap it on the kid's head once. He starts crying. He starts sweating profusely. This helmet was on Sonny's head all of 30 seconds. It's off. Sonny's fine. Here's what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to take my 4-year-old son, barge into the specialist's office, hopefully in the middle of another appointment where he's trying to fucking peddle his $4,000 50-cent piece of fucking shit to some other, by the way, some other person that has more money than time, and say, hey, specialist, I thought you said this kid had a problem. So what is it? And this is my favorite game. Stupid or liar? Right. I suspect you're a liar. Yeah. I hope you're a liar. Or maybe you're just completely incompetent. Maybe you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But which is it? Either way, you got to be stripped of your rank. Because there's only two scenarios here. A, you're bullshit artist, right, and you're shyster, and you're just doing it for the money, which I assume is true. That's the more noble route. Or B, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about because I have a fucking 4-year-old that has beautiful skull symmetry. Yeah. So, stupid or liar, you, my friend, are one or the other, and either way, you need to close up shop.
Was it at least custom fitted? They at least take measurements before they give it to them, or do they pull it off?
Oh yeah, it's a whole fucking scam. They take a plaster Paris mold of the head. They do the whole fucking 9 yards. The kid doesn't do anything.
You got to hang it outside that doctor's office. Yeah. Wait for some unsuspecting kid to walk out after he's like, I'm thinking about. There's parents like thinking about getting this thing. But hey, give it to you half price.
Yeah. Look, here's what
slightly
you need.
Used.
Here's what you need for all this stuff. Or here's how you know. All these countries that can't afford it, how come magically they don't have it? Yeah. How come magically there's no black mold in Honduras? How come no one's dropping dead of secondhand smoke in Nicaragua? How come in Africa there's no peanut allergies? Yeah. How come they don't have any of these problems? We manufacture these problems, and we manufacture activities.
Yeah, I doubt this is the Jonas Salk's vaccine of the new decade.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The thing that corrected dozens of years of problems.
What I did today is I had to go to a recital because it's important for the kids to get up on stage and dance, even if they don't give a fuck and they don't want to do it. Right. So it's this whole thing where the kids are involved with the school, and again, there's this whole cottage industry. I mean, I would reckon that before my kids, they're just 4. Okay. Today they're 4.
Oh, is their birthday today?
Yeah.
All right,
okay. So we have spent more on them from 0 to 4 than my dad spent from 0 to 44. Quite easily.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Dad, please. Can I please get another hell yeah?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Easily. I'll bet you. I'll do you one better. I will say that we have spent more on my daughter from 0 to 4 than my parents spent on me and my sister from 0, a combined age of 90. Quite easily. Why? Well, there's a whole fucking industry. And it's about pre-K and pre-pre-K and pre-prenatal and all these books and all this shit you have to do and all the classes and all the Head Start programs and how they got to learn they got to work with others, they got to learn to dance, they got to appreciate this. It's all a crock of shit.
How should I know?
Yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah. I went to a recital today. First off, here's bullshit. They tell you, okay, your kids, I said, what time do we need to be there? We need to be there at 3:30. They do the recital at 3:30. Well, here's what they don't tell you. What they don't tell you is the event starts at 3:30. Here's what I had to endure. These are 2- and 3-year-olds up on stage doing nothing. I'll explain how it works. My kids were in recital group number 4. First, there was the global mashup. That's all the teachers from the studio out there sort of awkwardly and clumsily and unprofessionally sort of flopping their way through a badly choreographed dance routine that lasted forever. Then the kids hit the stage. Not my kids. The first group of kids.
First wave.
I wish it was Normandy and there was a machine gun nest up there. Part of Your World, the Little Mermaid song with Miss Kelly, that was number one. Then the second wave hits, What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong with Miss Sharna. Then Walk Like an Egyptian, the Bangles. At this point, I turn over to my wife and I say, what the fuck? Where's the kids? Oh, no. The recital starts at 3:30. They're in the last wave, the last Higgins craft to hit the beach.
Sure. Which is where you want to be.
Yeah. Then we went, then it's Hula Hips by the Big Kahuna, and then La Bamba, and then Kokomo. There's a delightful song by the Muppets. These are all different kids taking the stage and doing their thing. Then Edelweiss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah. Fucking 3-year-olds love the sound of music. 3-year-olds love 6-year-old movies.
That's right.
Shot in Switzerland. They fucking love it. Then Home by Michael Bublé.
Hey.
Then Circle of Life from The Lion King. Now, at this point, I'm turning to the old lady again. It's 4:30. Sure. Come on now. I thought this thing started at 3. It starts at 3. Why don't they give you a little heads up that we're last in the queue?
Yeah.
Tout document. I don't, wait a minute. I don't think that says document. I think it says tout deucement.
I don't know what that
I
is.
don't know. It's by Feast or Feist or something.
Feist, yeah, right.
Feist, you know that band?
Yeah, they were in an Apple iPod commercial.
Oh, okay. Then Edelweiss again from The Sound of Music.
Okay.
Then Kansas City by Brenda Lee.
All right.
Then Pride in the Name of Love. I was like, oh, fuck.
Sweet.
Now I got to hear U2. I hate U2. And by the way, it's weird to have 3-year-olds up on stage where they go, a shot rang out in the Memphis sky. Hey, the black guy.
Remember the time they assassinated
Awesome.
Dr.
I don't know what you do with the choreography to that. Like, ow, my forehead.
How do you pantomime that?
Yeah, bunch of guys pointing from a motel deck. It's Pride in the Name of Love. Then my kids hit the stage.
Oh, what's their number?
Mambo Italiano.
All right.
Rosemary Clooney.
Not too bad.
Okay. Now here's what happens.
Listen, given the range, it could have been a lot worse.
Couple things. First off, my son was the only male in the entire event.
Solid.
So literally every group that I just read before you was 7 3-year-old girls up there.
Sure.
Although I should point this out. Let me take a sip. Hold on.
All right.
I should point this out.
100% female up till now.
100% female, 3 and 4-year-old.
Right.
At a certain point, somewhere in the middle, 2 girls get up there that are 18 months old.
Okay.
And I say to my wife, what the fuck are they going to do? And she says, why can't you just enjoy it? And I said, enjoy...
Both reasonable questions, by the way.
Enjoy what? Enjoy what? There's nothing going on. She says, no, they're getting up. So the 2 18-year-old month.
You demanded your money back.
18 months. What do? They go up there and they stand there. Now keep in mind that here's how the choreography works. The girls get up there and they make a semblance of a line in front of the audience. And then the teacher does the dance right next to him. Sort of like the person that does the sign language off to the side of the guy who's talking to the college students. She's doing the dance. She's doing the whole dance. So the kids have 2 modes. Either head craned to the right, looking directly at the teacher the whole time and trying to sort of fumble through what they're doing, or just looking straight out in the audience and doing nothing. None of them can do the dance. That's none of the 4-year-olds. The 18-month-olds, the 2 of them just stand there. They just stand there. They are statues. They are motionless. They're like that lost terracotta army in Pompeii or something.
Right.
That
buried in time, yeah.
Buried to protect the emperor.
Frozen in time.
Frozen in time. Remember, the terracotta army is different than the Pompeii army. But either way, they're fucking made of the shit you make roof tiles out of. And they're just standing there.
Are they speaking?
No, they're motionless. They're just standing there motionless, except for the 2 35-year-old women standing next to them who are doing the entire dance. So now I'm watching 2 35-year-old women just wearing black pants and doing the stupid dance that is meant for the 18-month-olds. And they just stand there, and they don't move, And they literally don't bat an eye. And then at some point, one of them just walks away, and the other one is just standing there. And we're just sitting there hearing a song from The Lion King. And I want to know what the fuck we're doing here. Now, I don't mean to be a fucking Scrooge. I'm just saying, what's in it for the kid? The kid's not doing anything. If anything, the kid's traumatized.
Right.
Just literally standing there. Like it's us. It's for us. We're pushing them up there. They don't want to be up there. The lesson, I don't know the lesson they're learning. And then, so it's this weird thing. Every kid walks off stage. Every kid gets a medal, like they just won the gold at Montreal. It's all this clapping. And come on, give it a... The kids don't know shit. They're not doing anything. They're completely out of sync. And then at a certain point, it's time for my son and daughter to get up there with their group. My son is the only boy. Oh, Jesus Christ. And my daughter is the only girl who's wearing a black leotard. Okay. Every other girl's wearing a pink leotard. Every girl in the group before her and every girl in her group. I've literally seen 118 girls in pink leotards. And my daughter... my daughter's wearing a black leotard. I said to my wife, like, why is she wearing a black leotard? I don't know. It's what she wanted to wear. I'm sure she'd like to marry a guy in a van and move to Portland, too. But as a parent, you go, no.
Here's what is to be done.
Here's what's to be done. And she's like, I don't know. All right, awesome. So it's a uniform of sorts. And she's wearing a black leotard, and everyone else wearing a pink leotard. And my son is the only thing with a penis in it besides me, or on it beside me. Is the only, zero exaggeration, he is the only boy in a sea of about 150 3-year-old girls, except for the 18-month-old ones. Right. And he goes out there in his little top hat, his little black shorts on.
They at least acknowledge. I mean, not, you know what I'm saying, acknowledge his difference in the get.
They didn't put him in a fucking tutu.
Yeah.
And
or black pants or whatever.
He proceeds to stand there and do nothing. My daughter does, she does about 30% of the moves in a very lackluster, sort of half-assed kind of way. There's a point where it becomes obvious where the kids start marching backstage and he's still standing there upstage, and then they come back forward to the front of the stage. He's there. There's a part where they sort of run in a circle. He's motionless. He's a tree stump with a top hat standing there. His hands aren't moving. I don't think he blinked. He literally just stood there.
He's stoic.
And then he gets off stage, and then they put a medal around his neck. And I didn't want to be a dick, but I was like, what message does this send? You stand there and fuck up royally, and you get a medal?
Best stander.
Yeah, I know everybody's, and it's like, good job, sonny, good job, awesome. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care where he is. And now we're driving home, day killed. And here's my point. If I thought he got something out of it, if he got just a little bit of stage time experience, if he got somehow just a rush or adrenaline surge, or he was all the wiser because of the experience or something, I would gladly go along with it. He didn't get shit out of it. He stood there. He was at least, if he was traumatized, at least that would have been a reaction. He just stood there and flatlined.
Right.
It just literally, I was about to run up there and hit him with some paddles just to get him to fucking move. If he would have sat down, it would have been a quantum leap forward from what he was doing. And he just stood there and did nothing. My daughter did a little bit of something, right. And I'm sure it cost me $800 over the last 3 weeks to prepare them for this nonsense.
Is there some value, you think, to getting them acclimated to being in front of a crowd? Because people, have to do a lot of public speaking in their lives, and the earlier you get someone acclimated to that, they get less stage fright, maybe?
I feel like, and I know this is just turning into a cop-out, I know people who want the spotlight, right. They want the microphone, they want to get in front of a group, and others that are just naturally shy. As a matter of fact, I would say shyness and outgoingness is built in almost like height, male pattern baldness, eye color, sure. Musical ear, things like that.
But regardless, at some point in your life, everyone has to get in front of a group, be it 10 people or 100 people or more. I mean, you got to give a speech to your high school, or you got to do a presentation of your history class, 30 people. It's maybe better to get someone, acclimated to that.
I'm trying to think about, my mom is very shy.
Sure.
I guess she did have to stand up and say to the class, say to the group, my name is Chris and I'm an overeater.
How can you possibly expect me to answer that?
I guess at the OA meeting she did have to say something at some point. But other than that, no, you can skate through your life without doing any presentations in front of a group. My son, he's a wrencher. He's quiet. He doesn't like it. My daughter, she doesn't need any help, and my son is never going to use any of the training he got. But either way, he didn't get anything out of it. He literally stood there motionless. And so I guess if you want him to deliver your best man speech in 25 years, it's going to sound like this. Oh, I guess we have to start like, oh shit, that's not a good class. And now Santino Carolla with a few words. Thank you. Listen, I don't want to sound like bitter old Pops Carolla. I'm just saying, how come we never got any of this shit? I see, here's what I think. I think we're doing the opposite to our kids. I think we're shoving them into a bunch of shit they're clearly not interested in. My son clearly has no interest in dance or the majesty of dance. He doesn't want to do these recitals. He doesn't want to stand up on stage with a bunch of chicks in tutus. He doesn't want to do any of that shit. My daughter wants to do it, and she will find it. She will seek it out. You won't be able because she'll be holding a wooden spoon and lip syncing in front of the TV when a Madonna video comes on.
Me too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's stop shoving them into stuff. All right. Anyway, I spent my day doing nothing while my son did nothing, and I don't think it was good for him. And furthermore, I don't think it was a rich experience. I don't think he's going to be any better for it, and I don't think he's going to remember it at all.
Maybe better that way.
Probably better. Oh, yeah, like a bad car crash or Vietnam.
Exactly, blank it out.